My name is Mike LaPointe, and I'm running for Congress in District 2 of Washington State against the Democratic incumbent Rick Larsen for the second time. I ran last time, and I'm running again because nothing's changed. Rick Larsen was reelected, and he has continued on the same path that he was going down the last time I ran against him. He doesn't represent the people, he represents the corporations. He takes their money. He takes their money for the coal trains, and to the tune of, I believe, like $45,000. That's not listening to what the people have to say. That's listening to how many dollar bills are stuffed in your pocket. That's not the kind of politician I am. It's not the kind of representative I will be. Representatives should not be taking money from corporations. You should be taking money from ordinary citizens and representing their best interests, and that's what I'm hoping to do. Something new. I think it's time we tried it. How about you? I have a lot of problems with Rick Larsen, not just the coal trains. Since then, he's come out against so many things that are an attack against our constitutional rights and a detriment to the citizens of our district, in our state, in our country. On the NSA spying, he was one of the few people still who hadn't gotten on the bus. I mean, the outrage was across the ideological political spectrum. We're not terrorists. We shouldn't be spied on. But he didn't come out and even present anything to prevent this from happening until Google and Microsoft came to him and says, hey, we're taking a lot of heat from the people for turning over their emails. Can you help us out here by passing this law that says if the government asks us to hand over the emails, we can tell the people? So when Google and Microsoft come to him, all of a sudden he's really concerned that the people are being spied on. Google and Microsoft went to him because it's bad for business when your customers know that you're handing over their emails to the federal government. This way, it takes the onus off of them and blames the government and allows them to let the customers know that this is going on. But nothing happened until the corporations approached him. Another thing I'm upset about is the NDAA. He had two chances. He was, the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act bill, came through Congress, and he had a chance to oppose any of the parts of it, particularly the part that says American citizens can be detained indefinitely without due process. That's against our constitutional rights. He said nothing about it. Then, when the Senate bill and the congressional bill came together, he was on the committee to reconcile that bill into one that went to the president for him to sign. He had a second opportunity to get that language out of there, and he failed doing that. Not one time, but again, when the next year's bill came up, he still refused to take that language out of it after all the uproar over that language being in there. It's unconstitutional. It's that simple. But it's still in there. The other thing I'm upset about is a Trans-Pacific Partnership trade agreement. This is horrific. This trade agreement allows corporations to set up international global tribunals where they have more power than sovereign nations. And there's an effort underway by the Obama administration to fast-track this bill through the Congress. What that means is that the bill will go to the floor. It'll shoot right through, no chance to add amendments, no chance to question anything in the bill. You just give it a straight up or down vote. That's not what kind of bill is this that they don't want us to hear or have discussions over? It's a kind of bill that gives power to corporations over the sovereign nations, which is us, the United States. I'll get into that more later on in a different video. But there's another thing. Again, an attack against our sovereignty, giving the rights of corporations more rights than the people of a nation. And finally, this last thing I want to talk about quickly is the Swaps Regulatory Improvement Act. See, back in 2008, there was this thing that happened. What was it? The economy crashed. Now, the main reason that economy crashed, where Lehman Brothers and almost AIG went under. AIG almost went under until we bailed them out. The reason they almost went under was because they were gambling with our money. They were gambling with these things, these financial instruments called derivatives. I can't even explain them. People who trade in them can't even explain them. But it's basically they were gambling, and they lost big time. And the American government bailed them out for their poor gambling with these derivatives. Well, as a result of that, the Dodd-Frank Act came out, and part of that says that if you want to keep trading in derivatives, that's fine. But if you screw up and you're going under, you're going under. You will not get a bailout if the reason you need a bailout is because you gambled in derivatives. Rick Larsen just voted on H.R. 992, which strips that out of the Dodd-Frank Act. So we learned nothing. Rick Larsen knows that this clause is helpful to the American people. But you know who it doesn't help? Wall Street. So he sided with Wall Street, and for no other reason than this, to get their money. Why else would he vote for this? I want the answer from Rick Larsen. Why did he vote on 992, which says that they can still deal in derivatives? All right. Now, these are just the few. I'm just going through these really quickly. I don't want to get into the details of it. I will later. I want to stand next to Rick Larsen and get into detail on this. But these are it's still the same old, same old. The Democrats and the Republicans are shoving this stuff down our throat, and they're saying, here, take this now. Well, you know what? I'm tired of taking it. I'm tired of having corporations run our country. I'm tired of our constitutional rights being trampled on. I'm tired of there being this terrorist threat to the world, but yet they're spying on me and you. What kind of crap is this? It has to end. The American people need to be represented by somebody who will represent the American people, and it's not happening. It's who has the money, pulls the strings in our government. It's that simple. Well, you know what? Corporations do not have the right of American citizens, of human beings. They'd like to think they do, and they have pretty much gotten their way. But it's time to change that. I'm here to change it, and I need your help. I'm running against Rick Larsen, but I'm doing more than running against Rick Larsen. I'm running to restore the democracy of our nation with you. I can't do it myself. We can't depend on the Democrats and Republicans to do it. So what we have to do is come up with something different. We have to come up with individuals, independent people, third-party candidates, coalitions that will take the reins and haul them in on these corporations and any forces that wish to take away the constitutional rights of the American citizens and turn us into an oligarchy run by corporations, a fascist state. Seriously, that's where we're heading. If we just stand by and let it happen, then it's our own fault. We have an opportunity now. We've seen what can happen. I refer to Kshama Sawant. She's a socialist. Whether you're for that or not, we can have that discussion. But the point is, she's an independent person who was able to get a grassroots movement. It wasn't all socialists who got her elected. It was the people who got her elected because she was running on the issues and she makes sense and she's a damn good, decent person. I know her. And that's what we need to do. We need to get people who care about our country, who are willing to stand up to corporations, who are willing to stand up to special interests and say, no, not anymore. We're going to do what the American people need. We're going to do what the American people want. We're going to make this the nation that represents all of us, not you and not your whims anymore. I'm more than willing to listen to corporations if they want to come to me with something that will help the community, will help the district, will help our nation. But if they want to come to me and say, here, I got a lot of money for you, do this for me, they can go to hell. All right? We don't have that anymore in our Congress or our Senate or in our administration. They take the money. They take the money and they complain, oh, it's part of the game. Well, you know what? The game needs to end, and it needs to end now. So, before I get any more wound up, let me close this off by saying I'm running again for Congress. I need help. I need money. I need grassroots support. I need people knocking on doors, holding up signs, the whole 9 yards. If we're going to get Rick Larsen out of office and replace him with somebody who will listen to the Democrats, to the Republicans, to the Libertarians, to the Socialists, to the Progressives, listen to the constituency and bring them into the discussion. I don't want to make decisions on my own. I expect everybody to help Give me the information I need to make the best decisions for District 2. I'm asking your support. I'm asking you to give me a chance. I'm asking you to stop going along with the same old, same old. So, this next year is going to be very interesting. And I'll promise you this much. If I can get through the primary, and Rick Larsen has to get up on a stage with me to talk about these issues I mentioned before and others, it will be like nothing you have ever seen before. I will not yield. I will demand that he take responsibility. I will demand answers of what he's going to do. I don't want to hear the same old, oh, I'll fight for you. I want to know how. And I expect to be having to answer the same question myself. But it's enough. We've given these guys a free pass, the Democrats and the Republicans, for too long. It's ending. It's ending now. We got to take control of our democracy. We got to take control of our political system. Either fix it or build it up from scratch. So let's get going. We got a lot of work to do. I want to help to do that, and I would appreciate your support. And for the next year, you're going to be hearing and seeing me a lot. And by the way, before I close, I'm in the Firewheel Community Coffee House in Everett. This is a community center. We're a left-leaning coffee shop. I'm one of the owner workers. There's several of us. But even though we're left-leaning, we encourage political discussion in here. I don't care whether you're right-leaning or left-leaning. You come in here, you want to have a serious discussion, you want to be civil about it, this is a place to go. This is where the community needs to gather because the coffee is good. Excuse my self-promotion there for a second. But it's also a very pleasant atmosphere, and you feel like it's your home. That's what we intended it to be. This is our home. This is where we need to be to get the answers, to get things done. So come on down. If I'm here a lot. I'd like to talk to you about politics or the coffee or whatever, unless I'm, got a line of 30 people wanting coffee and I'm behind the counter. But, come on down and let's talk about where we're going to go from here. Because if we don't talk, they're doing all the talking and they're only talking to themselves and they're taking away our democratic rights, and we need to stop that now. So before I ramble on anymore, let me say good night and have a good day tomorrow. Bye-bye.